parents, yes. Chapter 16. Ax, you hear? There's... Axil Mikala, my father said. It was his nickname for me. I couldn't believe it was really him. Yes, father, it's me. It's me, Axilmi. I'm on Earth. I don't know how long I can talk. Not long. Is your brother there? It came so quickly, the question I dreaded. I almost lost contact. I desperately wanted to see my father's face and listen to his words. But at the same time, I did not want to tell him his oldest son was gone. And there's another thing I did not want to tell him. Elfingor, my father said, is he... Father, Elfingor is... He was killed. My father looked like someone had punched him. He rocked back. I looked away. I tried so hard to think about Elfingor being gone. Somehow it wasn't real into this moment. Seeing my father's pain made it my own. Did he die well? My father asked. The question is part of the ritual of death. The question he had to ask. He died in service of his people, defending freedom, I said. This is also part of the ritual. He nodded. And has his death been avenged? It was that part I feared. No, father. He looked up at me. You are now the eldest son. The burden of revenge is on you. Do you know his killer? Yes. Does his killer still live? Yes. And do you, Axilmi, take up the burden of avenging your brother's death? Yes. The ritual is complete. We have both said the things we were supposed to say. I'm so relieved to see you're still well, my father said. Yes, I wanted to see you, I said. I couldn't. The connection was broken, instantly and totally. I was staring at a blank screen. Sorry, but you are breaking my heart, a human voice said. I had to cut you off. I spun around. A human! He was 30 feet away and he was pointing a weapon, pointing it at me. Only slowly I realized that was no human gun. The weapon in his hand was a Dracon beam, standard New York issue. You and I have a lot to talk about, Andalite. Quite a lot. I was frozen. I couldn't move. The human control was too far away from me to hit with my tail. Don't try it, Andalite. I'll fry you for even twitched that tail of yours. But then... Tobias dived from the top of the dome at full speed, wings swept back, talons raked forward. He aimed for the man's face. The man threw up an arm and he raked the bare flesh of his forearm, tearing red slashes behind, but he had held on to the Dracon beam. Tobias flew past and shreds of the man's shirt hung to his talons. I let forward, but it's too late. Freeze! I don't want to kill either of you Andalites, but I will if I have to, he snapped. Tobias slipped away, perched on a huge telescope itself. I just want to talk. You're the one holding the Dracon beam, I pointed out. Then he did something that amazed me. He knelt down and placed it on the floor. He kicked it aside. The weapon went skittering across the polished floor. There, now I'm at your mercy, Andalite. You can use that tail of yours. Or, you can listen to what I have to say. When I stalked eyes, I glanced up and saw Tobias. It's up to you, Axe, but I said this is your party. Speak now, said the human controller. My name is Gary Kolslar. Don't waste my time, I snapped, trying to sound strong and unafraid. That's a human name, to me your host's body. But I know what you are. He nodded. Alright, my name is Esplin359, and you are Axilmi, young Andalite warrior cadet, brother of Beast Elfingor. You see, I heard the last few minutes of your touching conversation. Beast Elfingor, so that's a Yerk name for my brother. Your brother is dead, Elswin snapped, and so is the one creature in the galaxy I cared about. Her name was Derain344, and do you know what they have in common, your brother and my Derain? No, was my brother in common with a Yerk. His face twisted in an expression of rage. They were both killed by the same being. Visor 3? As I said, you and I have a lot in common, Andalite. He struggled to gain control of his human face, but his jaw was twitching. You, Andalite Bandits, did a lot of damage by destroying that Kandrona. There was widespread starvation. Most important, Yerks was in vital position those whose advisor happened to favor being shelled back and forth every 3 days. They get a minimal dose, enough to keep them alive. Do you expect me to feel badly? No, I expect the usual Andalite self-righteousness and hypocrisy from you, Elson spat. Andalites, meddlers of the galaxy. Don't anger me, Yerk. I said I'd listen. I didn't say I'd let you spew lies. He made a grim smile. I knew you'd come. As soon as I saw the new software, I said, not the usual clumsy human effort. An Andalite corrected this software. An Andalite wanted to use the radio as a Z-space transmitter. I've been waiting for you, and I knew you would come. And here I am, I said. I felt like a fool. Of course they would have one of their own people in position in the observatory. It was obvious. I've been a fool. An idiot. My Derain. We came through the same pool. We went through training together. She and we had been together for a long time. We were very close. She understood me, but I had this important post in an observatory while she was given a minor post. And when your bandits destroyed that ground-based Padrona, Visor-Free moved quickly. He said that everyone would survive. He said he had found a way. But he lied. Too many Yerks and not enough Rays. Simple division. So Schultz's so-called importing controls up the mothership and the rest. He seemed to notice the bloody gash on his arm for the first time, touched him gingerly. You Andalites must love this planet. So many nasty species for you to morph. Was your Doraine one of the ones killed? She was expendable, Elson said, and then he smiled. I've gotten some small revenge already. The visitors' favorites will show up to the mothership every 3 days to feed, and I sabotaged one of the shuttles. Then I ripped off the feeding schedule. Now some of the visitors' friends are starving and dying, just like my Doraine died. That's why we're starting to see controllers losing it, Tobias said proudly to me. That's why it took so long. But it's under control till this guy messed up the plan. Are you finished, Estlin? I heard your story. Is there a point? Ah, you want the point. Yes, of course, the point. The point is, Visitor 3 inhabits an Andalite body, and sometimes he feeds like an Andalite. What's that mean, Tobias asked me. He feeds like an Andalite almost alone. He has guards, but they stay back. He is vulnerable. Vulnerable. And I know the place where he feeds. Why are you telling me this, Yerk? Why? He bared his teeth in the grimace of rage. Because I want him dead! I want Visitor 3 dead. He killed my Doraine. He killed the only one in the galaxy I ever had feelings for. He did it, and I want him to pay with his life, that foul half-Andalite scum. I want him dead! He calmed himself down at least a little. He pulled a small piece of paper from his pocket. He placed it on a desk. Time and place. You have a day to prepare. This could be a trap. He sneered. I could have killed you here. You have your duty, Andalite, the burden of revenge. Your brother's killer, your greatest enemy. You Andalites are great ones for duty, so do your duty, Andalite. Chapter 17. It's very difficult to be in human morph and remember you're not one of them, that their pain is not your pain. It's hard to remain apart. Sometimes very hard. The same evening, Prince Jake called a meeting in Cassie's barn. My first thought was Tobias had told the others about my trip to the observatory. Of course, he had still not known I communicated with my home, but he did know all about Elston's plan to kill Visitor 3. Cassie's barn is called the Wildlife Rehabilitation Clinic. She and her parties to rescue wild animals who are injured or sick. There are always dozens of animals in cages: skunks, foxes, raccoons, birds of all types. Many are bandaged. It's strange the relationship humans have with our animals. Some animals they seem to have an enormous amount of emotion for, and others they hate. I think it has something to do with something called cuteness, but I've never understood the concept. And now I was sure I never would. I was not foolish enough to believe I would take on Visitor 3 and live. Maybe if I planned, if I was lucky I might get him, but I would never live to brag about it. Perhaps I was just as well. I had no future. Lyram had forgiven me for breaking the law, but I could never be a warrior now, let alone a prince. I would never be another Elfangor. He would get on history as a great hero, and I remember as a young, stupid brother who gave the humans the ability to morph. I had no more a human to go into the barn. There's always a chance Cassie's father or mother might walk in, but I felt bad assuming this human body. As the skin replaced my fur and human eyes took over my Andalite eyes, I remembered Lyram talking about how he'd been an advisor to the Harbinger. They had lost. The Yerks had enslaved them, but he had been true to the laws and customs. What if he hadn't? What if he had given them advanced technology? What if he taught the Harbinger to build spaceships? Would they still be a free people today? But that wasn't for me to decide. I was just an Arnish. I would never be anything more now. At least if I destroyed Visitor 3, people would say he was a fool, but in the end he died well. Somehow that was not a great comfort. Prince Jake was sitting out of bale of hay, Marco leaning against the stall, standing with his arms crossed. Cassie, as usual, kept busy feeding an injured baby goose to an eyedropper. Rachel paced back and forth, her cool eyes narrowing as she noticed me. And Tobias was perched in the rafters of her head. I met his intense, intimidating cocked gaze, and I saw from his talons on a blade strip of bloody cloth. I knew where it had come from, and now I knew the reason for this meeting. Hi, Axe, Prince Jake said. How's it going? I'm fine, I answered. I figure we should all get together, Prince Jake said wearily, seeming averting his eyes. When you think about this thing with the controllers means, I saw a guy at the mall, there was Mr. Purdue, then this paper this morning on news of some business guy in a meeting and freaks out. The paper makes it seem like he just went nuts. I'm pretty sure there's another controller losing it. He looked at me and I said nothing. See, it's like this, Axe, Margaret says suddenly. We're tired of you getting us to run around. Tobias shows me he's dragging on some bloody shirt, asking what it is, and he won't tell me. Why wouldn't Tobias tell me? Simply must have promised someone he wouldn't, and who would that someone be? And there's no point in denying it. I made Tobias promise. Promise. And it was my fault. So now you're not just keeping secrets unless you're getting us to keep secrets from ourselves, Rachel yelled. You need to get something straight, Axe. We're not your little action figures. We're not toy soldiers. This is our planet and our fight. You don't control us just because you're some mighty Andalite. I'm not trying to control anyone, I said. Yeah, right, Rachel snapped. Information goes all one way. We tell you everything, you tell us SWAT. Oh, you sound like you're being straight sometimes, but you never tell us anything useful. You said you knew the Yerks would probably destroy and control went bad on them, Marco pressed. How did you know that? Has this happened before on some other planet? Rachel looked over. We show you our world and we take you in. You see our families, you read our books, you can go to our school, and then you keep secrets from us. I felt battered by their words. It was all true. I had my orders, I had the laws of my people. We're inferior, aren't we? Marco said. That's it, right? We're not good enough. Backwards little humans. We don't deserve to be treated like equals. That's not it, I said. Sure it is, sure it is. We're just a bunch of cavemen, aren't we? That's what we look like to you. Maybe been better if I'd been my own body. My human body is awash with adrenaline. I was frustrated and afraid and guilty. I can't answer your questions, I yelled. I can't. You mean you won't, Marco yelled. And Rachel's right. We're just pawns in this big game. It's allies versus Yerks, and we're what? The Towel Boys? Look, I have to follow the rules. Do you? Cassie asked. It was the first time she spoke. Her voice was soft and reasonable. Did Elfangor follow the rules and give us the power to morph? I'm not Elfangor, I yelled. Can't you see I'm not some hero? I'm just a young ally, right? You want the truth? Here's the truth. I'm not a warrior. I'm an Arnish, a trainee, a cadet, a nobody. Yeah, boo-hoo, Margot sneered. I'm not impressed. We don't want your sad story. We want the truth. What were you doing? Why did you swear into secrecy? What's going on? I can't tell you, said Sophie. It's a login to giving aliens, I mean any non-alien technology, and part of laws we can't explain why. Can't. I'm sick of this from... Rachel started to raise her voice, and when Prince Jake stood up and took her arm. I saw him look at Cassie, and she nodded. I can always understand part of not being into technology, but why all the other secrets? Why can't you tell us other things on how you knew what the Yerks would do? Okay, you don't want to give us mega weapons, fair enough. But refusing to tell us how we fit into this whole war? What's that about? It's about keeping control over us, Margaret said. It's about power, Rachel agreed. Cassie's looking at me strangely. No, that's not it. It's not about control, it's about guilt. Shame. That's it, isn't it? That's what you said the other night. You said every species carries some guilt. Guilt? Shame, Margaret. I was telling Cassie she was foolish, but Cassie has seen the truth. What'd you guys do to be ashamed of? Once we were kind when we should not have been kind, I answered. And that's all you're going to tell us? I nodded the way humans do. I can't accept that, Axe. If you're with us, you have to be honest. Otherwise, I guess you're on your own. I hate to do that, but you can't be one of us and then lie to us. I understand, I said. You've been... Once again, I felt that strange choking in my throat. You've been very wonderful for me. I'll always be grateful. Wonderful. Grateful. Full. The truth is we would not have been together much longer anyway. Looked up at Tobias, only he knew what I meant. Slowly feels like my clumsy human legs were made of human metal called lead. I turned and walked away from my friends. Chapter 18. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes you might find you get what you need. A famous human named Rolling Stone said that. I thought it was very wise for a human. The morning ritual is for normal times. The next morning was not a normal time. This was the day I would die. I am a servant of the people, I said and now my head low. The people. The people were billions of miles away. I am a servant of my prince, I said and raised my stalk eyes to the sky. My prince? Elvingor been my prince, but he's dead. And now a human, Jake was my prince, but he had discharged me. I wasn't even telling him what I was doing. The ritual was a lie. I am the servant of honor, I said and raised my face to look at the rising sun. Honor, to die avenging my brother. I felt my insides quiver. It was fear, and I know fear. I felt it often enough to bend battle, but I'd never gone to a fight that I knew I would lose. This wasn't honor. This was praying in the hands of death. My life is not my own when the people have need of it. Couldn't I ask the heirs to help? Couldn't I go to Prince Jake and tell him? No. Not telling him what I call my homeworld. Not without agreeing to tell them everything. It was time for the last words of the ritual. My life is given for the people, for my prince, and for my honor. I drew my tail blade pressing against my throat in a symbol of self-sacrifice. I was breathing hard as if I'd been running. My hearts were beating fast. That's different, Tobias' voice said. That's not the ritual we do the other day. You didn't step in the water this time. Yes, different, I muttered. I was angry at Tobias' there. You're going to do this, aren't you? I didn't answer. The truth was that I couldn't stand to talk about it. I was afraid, sickly afraid. If I could achieve surprise, I could kill the visor, maybe. But he had the body of an adult, a full-grown male. He's also more experienced than I was, and he'd have guards. There'd be Hartbridger nearby. Kinda cold-blooded, isn't it? I mean, it's one thing in a battle, but just saying I have to assassinate someone. Assassinate? He killed my brother. He had humans infested by a handful. He'll destroy you all if he can. He'll enslave your whole race. I wasn't criticizing. I'm a predator myself, but you can use some help. Tell me where it's happening, Alex. Tell me what you're going to do to find him. The others will help. You know they will. I can't. I can't ask for help. Jake's my prince now, or was. He may forgive me. Wait a minute. You mean he could just tell you no, and you wouldn't do it? What if he ordered you to answer all our questions, then what? Everyone must have someone over him. That is Analite custom. Every warrior is a prince. Every prince is a war prince, and every war prince has a great leader. And every great leader must be elected by the people. And everyone, no matter how small or great, obeys the law. He cannot order me to break my laws. So Jake's your prince. I guess he's mine too, in a way. You know, he doesn't think of himself that way. No, he doesn't. I realize this. Don't you have a duty to tell your prince what you're doing? Yes, so I guess I'm not very good at being a true warrior, I said bitterly. I'm not much good at anything. I don't think that's true, Tobias said. Tobias, I have to do this. You promised to keep my secret. Will you break your promise? He said nothing for a while. I won't tell anyone. And you won't follow me. I won't follow you. If I don't return, just in case, tell the others I'm sorry I can never tell them everything. There is a reason. Yeah, no doubt, Tobias said barely. Well, good luck, Axeman. I ran and ran. It was miles to the secret place where I would find Visitor 3. I wanted to run the whole way, to run away from my fear by heading straight toward it. It's what Elvingor would have done. Elvingor, the great hero. He would live on in everyone's memory as the perfect warrior, a shining prince. If I was lucky, someone maybe say, I accidentally broke the law, but he did finish off the abomination. I would get points for that. People would say I did well in the end. Others would say, what choice did he have? He was dishonored. It wasn't courage that sent him against Visitor 3, it was just despair. And others still would say, he was just a young fool trying to live up to his great brother's legacy, poor thing. I ran till my chest ached from breathing the heavy air of earth. I ran for dried leaves and rustling pine needles. I jumped fallen rotting logs and skirted patches of brambles. I ran past trees that did not speak like the trees in my world. Every time I pictured being face to face with Visitor 3, I ran even faster to outrun the fear. I was far from any human homes now, far from human roads, deep within the forest. Old forest full of shadows and gloom. But at last I saw a sun shining on the green grass just ahead. A meadow. However Elson's noted said it would be. I stopped running and gasped for breath. I lay against a tree and tried to cover my wind. My legs were shaking from a mixture of exhaustion and fear. The meadow was beautiful, green grass and tiny flowers in yellow and purple. I would like to feed there myself. I crept toward the meadow's edge, always keeping within the shadow of the trees, and I saw nothing unusual. No bug fires, no harbinger, no Visitor 3. Just wildlife, 2 deer grazing, squirrels racing up and down the trunks of trees, a skunk waddling boldly past. It'd be an hour before the time when the year Elson had given me. I had an hour to plan and prepare now I was on solid ground we were on. I looked at the meadow. A stream perhaps 3 feet across cut the meadow in half. The grass went tall by the stream bed. I tried to guess where he would run. Would he go left or right? I'd only get one chance so I had to guess correctly. I imagined where I'd go if it were me. He was an air-like body. Maybe he'd move like one. I stepped out into the blazing sunlight and walked to a spot I thought would do. This was beside a small stream, a place where the grass is a bit shorter and would be easy for him to step into the stream. And then I saw them. Andalite hoofprints. Visitor 3. Yes, he'd been here perhaps a few days earlier. Elson was right. This was the place. I had to wait and be concealed, ready to attack at the right time. I could never hide in my Andalite body, but there are other options. The rattlesnake. That would be the morph to use. What better way to strike suddenly than with the body of a snake? I focused my mind on a snake and concentrated on a change. I feel it begin almost immediately. It wasn't like any morph I'd done before. Usually my legs become some other type of leg. My arms become another type of arm even if it was only fins. But this time there were no arms or legs. Something in my own body would find echo in this new shape except for my eyes and my tail. My legs simply melted, withered, disappeared. I fell to the ground as a legless stump. My arms shriveled and evaporated. I heard the sounds of grinding my body as all of my bones melted into my spine. I was shrinking, but since I was already in the grass, it didn't seem as extreme as it sometimes did. The stalks of grass grew higher and the purple flowers larger, but there wasn't the usual feeling as I shrank. What I did feel was a terrible sense of weakness. I had no arms, no legs. But my tail, that I kept, but in a very different form. The blade of my tail suddenly broke into a sort of chain. There were dozens of raspy blisters all connected. The rattler's tail. My fur disappeared very quickly, and over my bare skin scales grew, like tiny interlocked armor plates that formed a pattern of brown, black, and tan. I grew a mouth, a huge one for the size of my body. I was a tube when the opening was my mouth, a shocking body, a bizarre one, stranger than even morphing an ant or a fish. I was a creature with no separate parts. My ant-like stalk eyes went dark, and an amazingly long, fast-moving forked tongue grew in my mouth, but it wasn't like a human tongue. This tongue sensed a taste beyond anything a human tongue could achieve. It tasted the very air. And then there's a feature I had waited for, the huge, long, curved fangs. The fangs that were each a tiny, hollow needle. Above them, poison glands grew and filled with toxin. I felt the snake's mind emerging from my own awareness. It was not the hot, driven mind of some animals. It did not overwhelm me with fear and hunger. It was a slow, calm, deliberate mind, the mind of a predator, a hunter, a calm and deliberate killer, and the senses. The lidless eyes saw strange colors, but they gave me a good range of vision. The tongue, the shot, and the slit in the bottom of my mouth tasted the air. It brought me an incredible array of sensations, the scent of grass and earth, the scent of insects, the scent of living, warm-blooded creatures. Just below and behind my snake nostrils were two pits that sense heat, especially level heat put off by prey. Yes, this is a good morph to use. The visitor would not expect me. His antibody was fast but not faster than a snake. I knew that from my own experience. I began to move, slithering. I moved with sinuous grace, easily and quietly. I followed my tongue, and it shot out and back, again and again sensing, smelling, and tasting. I felt the rattler's mind within my own. It was unafraid. It had no honor. It had no friends to worry about, no family to disappoint, no laws to break. It felt no loneliness. The snake had always been alone. I sat on the grass and waited, patient, motionless, counting the minutes off my head, and then I felt the vibration of the earth beneath me. The vibration was the sound of a bug fire landing. Then another, just two, not far away. It was time. The Yerks were coming. Visitor 3 was coming. As I drowned my fear in the calm lake of the snake predator brain, I prepared to kill, and I prepared to die. Chapter 19. I smelled him long before I saw him. I smelled andalite flesh. The Yerker was the real Visitor 3. The Yerk in that body I could not smell. Spread out, Visitor roared. His thought speech was loud, open to reach a soldier. You, watch the tree line. You two at the far side of the meadow. Shoot anything that moves. His voice in my head, I felt turning out a stomach I no longer had. I tried to quash my fear beneath the snake's calm, but it rose suddenly. I went over the plan. Strike, escape, demorph, go back for the kill. I'd let demorph with the visitor's guards come to his side, and I'd have to hope that the snake venom would slow him down. And then, galloping. 4 sharp hooves beat across the meadow. My tongue flicked and smelled him on the wind. He was getting closer. He had come to the stream. A shadow. He was there overhead and he blinded out the sun. My snake tongue smell tasted him. My lidless open eyes saw his belly overhead like a curved roof. I felt his warmth. He stuck one hoof in the cool water to drink. No time to think. He can move at any moment. A sound. What was it? Me. It was coming from me. It was my tail. A rattlesnake's tail. It sounded grim warning without conscious thoughts. I saw a visitor's head lower. I saw his 2 main eyes focus. I could see the dawning fear in his eyes. I struck. My cold muscles fired all at once. My head rocketed through the air. My mouth opened wide. My fangs came down and strike. The fangs sank into andalite flesh. I could feel the venom pumping. I could feel the poison shooting into his leg. He jerked, and I released. He tried to back away fast, but I was so much faster. Pumped the venom into him, poisoned the monster, poisoned the abomination, poisoned Elfangor's murderer. I drew back and tasted my own venom dripping from my fangs. His tail slipped over my head, lancing down, but I was already gone. The blade sliced through the ground. I felt the wind of it as I slithered swiftly away. Demorph, I ordered myself. Still, he had not called for his guards. He'd be wondering. He didn't know how dangerous the snake was. He wouldn't realize at first it was not a true snake, and then slowly he began to suspect. I was racing at breakneck speed through the grass. Behind me, my rope body twisted and coiled and released and slithered, but my head stayed level and straight, flying at ground level for the grass. I was 20 yards away. My snake body grew slow and sluggish from the changes. Tiny legs appeared, just stubs at first. Tiny stalk eyes grew from the broad tip of my diamond-shaped head. There's a snake, Visitor roared. Find it. Kill it. I struggled on, heading for the edge of the forest, and then... body warmth. A warm-blooded animal just ahead of me. My snake tongue flickered, and I smelled an aroma I knew. Harpager. Harpager, the shock troops of the Yerk Empire. A peaceful, decent race that happened, as Marco often said, to be built like lawnmowers. Bladed arms and legs, tearing clawed feet, a slow but deadly tail. They are all controllers, all slaves of the Yerks in their head. I could move no further. I was no longer a snake, but not yet an andalite, and the Harpager was just a few feet away. Too close. So, I thought, this is how it all ends. My stalk eyes had emerged, and I was rising slowly on my spindly andalite legs. My tail was forming. I saw the Harpager, and I knew he saw me. There's nothing I could do. Nothing I could do but die. The Harpager swung his bladed right arm like a scythe, and it hit me right in the neck. But then, woof, he staggered. His blade arm sliced the air above me. Roar, but not the roar of a Harpager. The Harpager went flying. 7 feet of deadly, dangerous Harpager warrior just cartwheeled through the air. Maria and Ben now stood Rachel. Of course, not the human Rachel, the long blonde hair and cool eyes. That was another Rachel. This was Rachel in the morph of a grizzly bear. It was on its hind legs, standing even taller than the Harpager had stood, with claws almost wild the Harpager's blades, and muscles powerful enough to simply throw a Harpager 10 feet. The bear growled wildly. Oh man, I love doing that. Rachel asked wonderingly. No, she said in a human tone of immense sarcasm. It's Smokey the Bear. Finish morphing, you andalite idiot, then let's go kick some York butts. I was almost fully Andalite again. I slipped the meadow quick with my stalk eyes. Visceries in the middle of the field, two Harbinger rushing to his side, bounding for the grass. Across the mound, the far end, a third Harbinger was looking around wildly as if his Drake and being at the ready. He is looking every direction but up, and from the tree above him something seemed almost liquid, something orange and black dropped with claws outstretched. Prince Jake. In the sky overhead, a hawk wheeled low circles over the field. Two Harbinger guarding the bug fires, Tobias announced. Oh, never mind. Casting marker just took him down. Visitor-Free and two Harbinger in the center meadow. Come on, Rachel said to me. Let's have a nice talk with Visitor-Free. He's my responsibility, said Rachel. I have an obligation of honor. He's all yours. Tobias flew past, skimming just over the grass, rocking toward Visitor-Free. You told them, Tobias, I accused him. Yeah, sure did. I got the idea from you. You're the one who said you had to obey your prince. Well, I guess he's my prince, too. He ordered me to tell him. How'd you know where I was going, ass? I never told you. Please, that controller, Elson, whatever, he wrote it down. I have hawk eyes. I can see a flea and a cat. You think I can't read that note? You make me very angry, Tobias. Yeah, and you get on my nerves too. We still have a fight on our hands. Let's go deal with Visitor 3. He raced toward the visitor and his guards. Rachel, a huge rolling brown tidal wave, and me. Above us, Tobias flew, and just as we drew close, saw Visitor 3 stagger. The poison, the venom, it was working. Visitor buckled and fell to the ground. The two Harbinger quailed, and I saw Rachel barreling through the tall grass. I saw Prince Jake, a striped demon, coming from the other side, and I saw Marco and Gorilla morphing Cassie, an eager wolf with teeth bared. Tobias reached the visor, and he would swoop past him and up in the air, beating frantically. Worst of all, I saw an Andalite, the enemy they fear the most. Your visitor is finished, I called them. You can die with him, or you can run. The controllers made their decision quickly. Harbinger can be very fast when they decide to run. The visitor was down, alone and helpless, and came to stop in a circle around him. He was helpless as Elfangor had been at the end. I looked up. Why was Tobias? No way, Tobias cried. He drew back his wings and died at full speed. He plummeted toward the earth at a racing speed, killing speed. His talons came forward. He looked as he hit the ground, but then, no, Tobias cried. He swooped up and away back in the sky. Tobias, what is this? Heard Prince Jake yell in thought speak. He bailed. The Yerk bailed out. He got in the water. I can't see him. He got away. What? I cried. What happened? He's out. Visitor-Free is out. I saw him worming through the grass. It took several seconds for me to comprehend because I couldn't make sense of it. It was impossible to believe. He left his body? Visitor-Free left his host? He crawled right out of that Andalite head and slid in the water. There's a fast current. I can't see beneath the surface of the water that well. I can't see him at all. I looked down at the creature. I thought it was Visitor-Free, but of course, the real Visitor-Free is a gray slug. A Yerk. This body was the body of an Andalite. The visitor was gone. He'd escaped. The Andalite was breathing but seemed unable to move. He looked up at me with his main eyes. I had faced Visitor-Free before and I felt the evil force that flows from him, but that evil was gone now. This was only an Andalite. The Yerk was gone. Kill me, the Andalite vanished. Yes, kill me before he takes me over again. Please, kill me. I felt my heart stop. It was more than I could stand. After years of being controlled by Visitor-Free, the mind of the Andalite host is still alive, still aware. I may have already killed you, my friend, I said to the snake. No, you don't understand. Visitor-Free, he has backup forces ready. They'll be here in minutes. Half a dozen bug fires. They'll keep this body alive. Your poison is too slow. But you're an Andalite. I can't kill you, I said desperately. I can't. He'll take me again, the Andalite said, begging. The Yerks will find him and bring me to him again. Please. I can't live that way. Please. The things I've seen, you don't understand. It's horrible. He tried to raise his own tail. He tried to bring the blade to his throat, but the venom weakened him and his tail fell limp. I understand, he said last, with sadness that you burned me to hear. Listen, my name is... What is my name? It's been so long, and the poison... Yes, that's it. My name is Alran Simtur Koras. I was once a war prince. Someday if you survive. I have a wife. I have 2 children. Someday, tell them I still hope. Tell them I still have love for them. Yes, War Prince Alran, I'll tell them. Do you have any other orders for me? He reached out with one weakened hand and I took his hand in mine. Fight them. They're stronger than you think. They have infiltrated. They're on the home world. Fight. His fingers went limp and he fell silent, unconscious. I set his hand down by his side. I knew the next time I saw his face, it would once more be the face of my enemy, the Abomination, Visitor 3. We should get out of here, Prince Jake said. Come on, Axe Tobias said. There'll be another time. Okay, chapter 20. Give me liberty or give me death. A human named Patrick Henry said that. I wonder if the Yerks knew before they came to conquer Earth that humans said things like that. I wonder if the Yerks knew what they were getting into. We call it the law of Saro's kindness, I said. We were in the woods where I live, the woods of the planet called Earth. 2 days had passed since the terrible events in the meadow. I thought a great deal in those 2 days. I thought of everything, and then I'd asked my human friends if they would join me. What's it mean? Rachel asked. She stood her arms crossed, I believe an expression of skepticism. It means we are not allowed to transfer advanced technology to any other race, I explained. It's a very important law, one of our most important laws. I don't want any competition, Marco said. You and I just want to be able to stay on top. I get that, but humans on your side. We're the ones being taken over. Marco, Prince Jake said, chill. Let Axe tell his own story. Sero was a great Andalite, a warrior, a scientist. He was in charge of the first Andalite expedition to the Yerk homeworld. I saw my human friend stiffen. Tobias fled to a lower branch, drawing closer. Sero felt sorry for the Yerks. They are an intelligent species. They use a primitive species called Geds as hosts, but they were nearly blind, clumsy, and not useful. The Yerks had never even seen the stars, let alone be able to leave their planet. Sero felt sorry for them. He was a kind, decent Andalite. Oh my god, Cassie whispered, that's the big secret. That's the shame the Andalites are hiding. What? Rachel asked. What's the secret? Sero gave the Yerks advanced technology, didn't he? I nodded. Sero thought the Yerks should be able to travel to the stars as we did, and first it seemed like the right thing to do. But then, a species called the Nahara. By the time we found out, it was too late. The entire species had been enslaved. Then came the Harbinger, the Taxons, and other planets. Other races were falling to the Yerk Empire. They spread like a disease. Millions, billions of free people had been enslaved or destroyed by the Yerks because of Sero. Because of us. Because of the Andalites. For a while no one spoke. I knew what to expect. These humans at first seen Andalites as heroes. Then they come to be suspicious, and I just confirmed their suspicions. Now they would see we were not the great saviors of the galaxy. Elfangor broke the law of Sero's kindness though, right? Margaret pointed out. Yes, but I will take the blame for him. He was a great hero. His name will be destroyed. I am a nobody. I have taken the blame. It'll help you when humans become a new race of conquerors. If you become the new Yerks one day, my people will talk about Axilmi's kindness, and I'll be the one to go down in history as a new example of a fool. I saw Rachel make a smile and shake her head. Marco rolled his eyes. He said, man, I was really getting into disliking you, Axe. I was confused. I expected him to be furious, but instead they were smiling. Don't you understand? Your world is threatened by the Yerks because of my people. Prince Jake nodded. Yes, we understand. A long ago someone tried to be nice and it was a disaster. This Sero person tried to be a good guy. He hoped all people in the galaxy would get along. That we'd all go to the stars together. Yes, and the result was terrible. Axe, you don't stop hoping just because it doesn't always work out. You get more careful. You get wiser maybe, but you keep hoping. Look, Axe, Prince Jake said, we don't want to give you, we don't want you to give us any Andalite technology. We don't want to break your laws. We just want you to trust us. Tell us the truth. Be one of us. You aren't alone, Axe, Cass said softly. Maybe we aren't your people, but we are your friends. Your boy Sero wasn't wrong, Marco said. He just hooked up with the wrong species. We aren't the Yerks. We're Homo sapiens, humans. Andalites wanted someone to cruise the stars with, we're the ones. You bring the spaceships and we'll bring the raisinets and cinnamon buns. You'll do more than that, I said. You'll learn very quickly. Someday you might be greater than the Andalites. No, Prince Jake said, because whatever we learn, you'll learn. We'll do it together. Andalite and human. It is impossible, I said. We're different species from different worlds, a billion Earth miles apart. Axeman, Tobias said, tell me what Andalite wants most. What are you guys fighting for? For freedom, of course. And what do humans want most? Freedom, Prince Jake said. Freedom, Rachel said, nodding her head. Freedom, Marco and Cass said together. Freedom, Tobias said. Different bodies, different species, maybe, but who cares? We can agree on what matters. Rafima said nothing, as I was a little overwhelmed. That really something made me laugh. See, it's happening already. What, Rachel said. You humans are teaching Andalites something new. You're right. We fight the same battle for the same goal. The Andalites on your homeworld may not like that idea, Rachel said. No, they won't. They won't. They have their laws and customs. They think they know what's right. If I ever get home, I'll have a lot to explain. Maybe so, Tobias said, but I know one Andalite who would be proud of you. Are you with us? Prince Jake asked. Yes, Prince Jake, I said. Don't call me Prince. Yes, Prince Jake, I said again. Alright, Margaret started with his hands together. Now it's over with. Now we're all finally leveling and telling the truth. I think we have one very big question for you, Axe. One huge question to put our new friendship to the test. One gigantic question. Everyone nodded in agreement. What? I asked nervously. How do you eat without a mouth? Marco demanded. I laughed. We eat as we run. Our hooves crush the grass and nutrients are absorbed into our systems. We drink in the same way of putting a hoof into the water. Oh, so that's the thing with the morning ritual. You put your hoof in the water, Tobias said. Morning ritual? What ritual? Rachel asked. Yeah, tell us, Cassie said. Okay, I agreed. I'll tell you everything. Everything I know. Directly Tobias has said that amid his fierce, intense, hot gaze. I understand I would answer his question as well, the one I knew must be burning inside him, but the question never came. And I heard my mind echo Tobias's words. Different bodies, different species, maybe, but who cares? We know what matters. Neither I nor my Storm Tobias are capable of smiling, but just the same, there are times when we look at each other and understand each other and smile. Aww. Chapter 21. You'll do it, because if you don't have to find a way to tell Visser Free who set him up, I told Elson, the New York traitor. I was on the observatory. We were alone, just two of us. Elson glared hatefully at me. Andite scum, you couldn't even kill him. What's the matter? Did he scare you too badly? Just boot up the software. I have a transmission to make. This one time, Elson, and I'll be gone from your miserable life. Do it. It took several minutes for a Z-space transmission to be established. A few moments more, I was connected to Great Lyrium again. I won't be able to call again, most likely, I said. I have a message that needs sent to the wife of Auron Shimmer Koras from her husband. It was nice to see the old Lorem's eyes go wide all of a sudden. He knew exactly who Auron was, what he was. Her husband sends his love. He still hopes for a day he will be freed. Is that all you have to say, Arnajak Silmi? No. I have this to say too. You tried to save the Harbinger and still live by all our laws, still keeping all our secrets. But you failed. Do not say what you're about to say, Axilmi, Lord Mort. Do not disobey the laws of our people. Prince Lyrum, the humans are my people now, and sir, with all due respect to the law, and to you, I won't let the humans be as sure as Harbinger were, not while I live. Lyrum's eyes narrowed dangerously. It must run in your family, he growled. You're just like your brother Elfangor. I laughed. Thank you, Prince. Thank you very much. And that is where the book ends. That is the end of Animorphs number 8, The Alien.